Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sunday night, of course, so we are going to review Asylum. So, welcome the Freaks of AHS, or I should say the admins to the Freaks of AHS. There's a link to our group in the description. And Casey, welcome to you.
Hey everybody, glad to be back again.
Somebody is watching something. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Casey, are you watching Post still?
Oh no, I just turned off the audio on my stream. I didn't realize I'd had it on. Sorry.
Okay, somebody is watching something. Hold
I
on, let
have
me.
it turned off.
That sounds like action movie.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. I guess it seems to have stopped, so we are totally good now. Okay.
Why did I say it sounds like action movie?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's so weird. Something was playing in the background somewhere. So, all
Okay.
right, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Freaks of AHS review Asylum. Now, of course, once again, here is Casey. Say hello to everybody, Casey.
Hey everybody. I enjoyed this season. Spoilers.
And of course, welcome, Tami.
Hey guys, I'm here, kind of.
Yeah, Tami is behind the beautiful face. So we're just using her voice tonight. So please welcome her, of course, to the show. Now Tami and Casey are just two of the cluster of the little admins that we have going on for the Freaks of AHS, which is a Facebook group for those who love American Horror Stories. So we're going to review Asylum. We reviewed Murder House last week. Now we're reviewing Asylum. Let's get to it. Casey.
Tammy and I are two of the cluster guys. I've never heard you call us a cluster. Sorry.
It's all right. So I've run some poll questions on my Twitter, and I'm going to reveal like the answers to them during the live stream. But right now, let's just start with, we had the pilot and let's start, I guess, with the first couple of episodes, and then maybe we can then maybe we can go into some of the poll questions. But what did you guys think of the first couple of episodes? Let's review those.
Okay. I gotta say, I watched the first episode separately, and then I watched the other 12 in one sitting. So it might be a little blurred together. But I'm just gonna think about what happened in like the first four. Honestly, I think this season, and I do love this season now. I'll talk about my ex opinion later. You know what that is. Didn't love. But I think I still believe this season has a weaker start than most of the others.
I agree.
Really?
Yes, because I realized after sitting through the season again, which I love to do, I started to realize compared to the other seasons, not as much happens in the first few episodes because of the fact that we're basically dealing with one thing that doesn't have any payoff until about halfway through the season when you find out who Bloodyface is. And some of that is a little frustrating, honestly, but at the same time, I don't blame them because the episodes are still great. It's just that I think the season, yes, it starts off slower. And I think the problem, I'm just going to group the first 5 together just because I'd say first 4, but then 4 and 5 is a 2-parter. So yeah, but it's just, I think the big thing about 1 through 5, the problem is episodes 4 and 5, and I still think the Anne Frank thing is a little.
That was a bit much.
I guess
good choice of words, Tami.
Bring home the whole thing about Dr. Arden being a Nazi. I guess it was supposed to shine light on that part. But I guess you're right, guys. It does seem like it was a little unnecessary of a storyline. But I do see, though, where they did try they succeeded, in my opinion, to connect it Just
They
like the
did.
farm boy who was introduced in like the second episode that was possessed and ultimately led to the possession of Sister Mary Eunice. So I do understand what you're saying about that.
I
But,
love the whole possession bit. Hey,
Oh,
there's
Maisie!
Maisie.
Amazing.
Holy moly, I am
Maisie.
so sorry. I was looking at the comments. Maisie, it's so great to have you guys. Welcome, Maisie, to the live stream. Yay!
They're all together again.
I completely forgot Hangouts wasn't on my new phone, and like I was like, it's like 10. Where are they? I was like, I guess they'll text me. And then Casey texted, so I was like, oh, that's right, not on this phone.
And there's two Caseys. How are there two Caseys right now?
There are
I
two
don't know what
cases.
I don't know what happened. It told me Safari quit unexpectedly. I don't know, but it shut off, so I'm
That's
back.
pretty funny, though. Look, we have two Caseys, though. It's like Asylum has come and taken over our live stream.
I like it though because like my hotel profile picture's there, and I just like it because it gives us a little AHS spice.
Real quick, before we dive into anything else, I just want to say that there's another great channel here called Horror Knowledge. Definitely go check out their channel and subscribe if you like the content.
Hey,
give
Aaron
the stream
called
a thumbs
Casey a
up.
bet and dot.
Ah! Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It's gone.
Now, I like the beginning part of Asylum for me. I love the possession scenes. That was so
scared me to no end. Oh my god.
good. So good, though.
For the longest time, I was terrified.
I feel like we can all agree on this, and I don't know about you guys about this part specifically, but to me personally, horror movies don't really scare me or anything like that. It's more sort of just the enjoyment factor, not like the scary factor, because I don't actually get like scared about them. I feel like you guys are on the same page, right?
Yeah.
I like that we're all like, not like,
Well, I watched A Quiet Place last night.
It was very scary. I thought there was a lot of things there that when I was rewatching it at night in my closet alone, because of course I can't watch American Horror Story any of the seasons when my kids are around. So I have to do it after my kids and husband have gone to bed. I'm in the closet. Everything in the neighborhood, like where our house is positioned, and was into the house, I can hear every single noise up and down the street and in our own house as if it were right next to me. And it's scary as shit staying up late at night watching that stuff, you know, rewatching it again when every little noise will make you jump. Casey was like,
okay.
no.
Yeah. No. Sorry, I was writing something down to remember. And, I just needed a moment to catch my thought. I completely agree with you. And the second part of my thing was, I think we can also all agree that this season is probably the scariest.
Roanoke was pretty scary. So I would say this one and Roanoke.
That was the other thing. It was like asterisks, maybe Roanoke too. And this isn't a Roanoke review, but I must say I think the jump cuts to the interview really takes me out of the horror of Roanoke. Roanoke would be more scary to me if they would have dropped the reality TV show aspect.
Yeah.
But it's still,
I still need to rewatch Roanoke, so I'm waiting until we get there.
We're going to rewatch that sucker, yes.
I feel like
I didn't care for it, but
scary throughout. Like, it was like from beginning to end, like, always a horror element, where Roanoke did have like the TV element, so you weren't like as scared the entire time. Or when you're watching Asylum, you're like, oh my fucking god, I'm gonna shit my pants.
I agree with Maisie because I feel like during Roanoke, and I don't feel like this is bad because I feel like this is a comparison, which it does have something to do with Asylum. I feel like the difference between Asylum and Roanoke in terms of horror factor, I guess, is that Asylum keeps the scares coming and keeps like, you know, fresh things happening that are kind of scary, and
Okay.
Some of the stuff's disgusting and stuff like that. But I think with Roanoke, the reason I find it less scary is because I was really taken out of the moment when we would cut to Shelby, Lee, and Matt. And we'd realize, oh, wait, this is just a reenactment. Because the fact that half the season was a reenactment that was supposed to be scary, I think that completely took me out of it as a whole. And I guess that's why I think Asylum's scarier.
Gotcha. Well,
but
guys,
Asylum's still the second scariest.
Real quickly, I want to say that if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to thumb it up. And we're going to be here every single Sunday reviewing the seasons. So next Sunday, we're going to do Coven. Next Sunday after that is Freak Show. And then we're all going to take a quick 1 week break and then come back the next Sunday. So like the second Sunday, I think in August is when we'll be back. But anyway, live streams are, preset. They're all good to go for you guys. So just be back for that. And then let's take very quickly a couple of questions from the Twitter. These polls are still open on my Twitter, guys. But I posted some questions this week while we've been reviewing Asylum, just like I did with Murder House. So I wanted to give a couple of results real quick. The first one is, would you tour a known haunted location? Because remember at the beginning, like the one of the present stories is talking about Jenna Tatum Channing, sorry. Her and Adam Levine from Maroon 5. They're newlyweds, and that's what their honeymoon is that they're touring haunted locations, and this was their last stop. So 4% said hell no. 7% said I'm not sure. 33% said only with friends, and 56 overwhelmingly won and said hell's yes. And if you guys want to vote on any of these still, these polls are still open, and it's at MaryGirl Moody on Twitter. I'll do one more, and then we'll kick back to Asylum. One of the other questions was, do you think it was smart of Lana Winters to enter the Asylum to get like an interview with Bloody Face? Let's see. 2% said not sure. Let's see. 30% said yes, anything for a story. 33% says she can do it, not me. And 35 answered one with no, just no. So if you guys want to vote, obviously a lot of these are good for just a couple of hours, and then I'll obviously start watching Coven tonight, and I'll start posting poll questions on Coven this week. So get ready for that. And also we're going to review Coven in the Freaks of AHS. So.
Also, I gotta say thank you so much for doing those polls. They're a lot of fun. I'm always like, But back to the Anne Frank thing. I guess that's my biggest problem. Second biggest problem with Asylum. The first one's a doozy. The second biggest problem with
I love
Asylum.
The way you said it. The first one's a doozy.
It is. And we're gonna talk about it. Trust me, I mentioned it last week. You probably already know what it is. The second biggest problem I have with it, even though I do love Asylum now, is the Anne Frank thing, because like it's kind of like in Roanoke with the jump cuts to the interviews. It kind of took me out of it, to be honest, because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And I think the most frustrating part is the fact that by the end of that Anne Frank storyline, that ultimately didn't go anywhere, to be honest. We didn't have any answers.
I think it was just supposed to drive home the point that Dr. Arden was a Nazi. And that even though maybe the story wasn't true, which I thought it was implied that it was true. And I know a lot of people are saying that it was not true. She was not Anne Frank. So, I don't know. Maybe you guys can let us know in the comments if you thought that it was accurate or not. Just put yes or no, Anne Frank, and then that way we'll know that that's what you're talking about. But yeah, that was just.
No, but the thing is, I agree with you, and I think that's the frustrating part. It's that it is implied that did happen, so that's the part that took me out of it. That.
Well, Ryan's got to throw in a little history, too.
But I guess my problem was, he sort of changed history, which, I mean, I feel like there were other ways to do, reveal Arden as a Nazi other than bringing a famously dead person back to life. But, I mean, they were still entertaining episodes. I guess I just thought I had a hard time getting over the fact that it just didn't make any sense, I guess. At least in my head. It just
Well, you know, one thing that they never answered in Asylum, and I'm surprised nobody else noticed it when they were going through the rewatch, is that in the episode 3 where they were watching the Cross movie, Sister Mary Eunice
Sinners of
met
the Cross. What was that called?
something like that. But Sister Mary Eunice met the aliens in the hallways of the asylum when she was looking for one of the escaped patients. So she saw the alien, and then next thing we know, it cuts away, and then she wakes up in her bed. Sister Mary Eunice comes and tells her, "Look, everybody in the movie is pissed off. You need to come, check your fucking patients." And so, I mean, nothing else happens to it, but I thought that was a great spot that I had missed before, because I didn't know that, she had ever actually met the aliens. And then later, when the kids take, spoiler, sorry, Sister Jude, Sign of the Cross. Thank you so much, sis, for putting that into the comments right there. I see that, Tami. And then when the kids, kids take Sister Jude into the forest, it just kind of makes me think, of that scene, because she's obviously met the aliens before. What if she was sort of touched by them, kind of the way that Kit was? Because they wouldn't have to let her see them. They could have just hidden the shadows and never kind of came out. See what I mean?
Yes, and I think that's kind of to go with the problem of Asylum that I think kind of. Maisie, what are you eating?
Lemon cake.
Okay.
Oh, love lemon cake.
You guys ever had the lemon pound cake at Starbucks? It is so good.
It's so good.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, HEB makes the best stuff over here. I swear, the one over here at my HEB, like the bakery people are just pros. They make the best freaking stuff.
My job where I work, we have
What is this review?
The best.
What, Casey?
I said, what is this review? Like, now we're talking about food.
Now we're reviewing lemon cake.
You're the one who stopped mid-sentence and asked what I was eating.
It looked good.
Well, it is good. It's lemon cake.
But I think that's like the consistent problem with Asylum that I have, is that they seem to keep, it felt like, honestly, a little bit like they were sort of, I want to be nice, because I do like this season a lot. It felt like sometimes they were kind of making this stuff up as they went, and then forgot about some of it, and then just went, eh. Because things would happen to the characters that wouldn't be brought up again, and I felt that was a little random. And I do think it ultimately worked, because the season has a wonderful resolution, and I think maybe one of the best finales of the entire series. But it just, there were little things about it that annoyed me, like what Mary said. It's an interesting thought that ultimately didn't go anywhere, and I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't have to figure out the answer for ourselves if it's not obvious.
Well, I think that's the whole point of good writing, is that you have to have the fans figure some things out for themselves and spin off into these fan theories, sort of like we do, and make videos about it. So, I mean, yeah, I absolutely see the point of not giving the full answers to some of those questions because of those purposes. So.
And I get that, and I love that.
Comment.
Yeah.
What's up, darling?
BRT had a good comment. An Anne Frank imposter wouldn't have known what Dr. Arden looked like. I think she's legit, or some psychic phenomenon happened with her and the real Anne.
That's a good point. I see that comment now.
Oh my god.
See, I thought the same thing. I thought she was legit. I thought the exact same thing, that really was her.
My mind's just been blown. Okay. I've got a thought. And I want you to think about it before you judge it.
Okay.
What if the aliens put the thought that Dr. Arden was a Nazi and that she was Anne Frank into her head. They abducted her, made her go insane, and she knew about it because they like did their thing.
No, I think that's really reaching.
Probably. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I think that just the biggest thing about the first 5 episodes is it starts off a little bit slower than most of the other seasons. But
yeah, so
there's
let's
nothing
go
wrong
ahead
with
and
that.
let's move on to the next couple of episodes. Let me go on ahead and do 2 poll questions very quickly. Guys, if you want to vote on these polls, it's at MaryGirl Moody on Twitter. And my question here is asking the best villain of Asylum for American Horror Story. 11% said Sister Jude, surprising. 15% said Dr. Arden. 24% said Bloody Face. And 50% won at saying Sister Eunice possessed. And then the next question is, what would you do if you met Bloody Face? 13% said freeze from fright. 20% said just die. And 67% said run like hell.
If I saw Zachary Quinto's beautiful ass face, it'd be over. It'd be done with.
Maisie would just stay.
Maisie would be fine.
I'm
You don't have
surprised
to worry
have
about
my face.
Maisie.
I'm surprised that Dr. Arden or Dr. Thredson, excuse me, isn't in the comments. And I want to say very quickly that Elementary School Dropout had a great comment right here when they said, I wonder if Dr. Thredson had split personalities. Like that one side of him was psycho and the other side of him wanted to help out Kit and Lana. Maybe the bad side is aware, but not the good. I wanted to address that because I've done extensive research on split personalities, and I would like to say that Dr. Thredson does not qualify for split personalities.
He had intentions of setting them up, and he had severe mommy issues, is why he did the skin thing. So he's just messed up. He's a messed up.
I was gonna say, love the idea, but at no point did I think he was a good person. Like he just seemed fishy.
Well, that's another poll question that I've asked people, so we'll move into that in just a little bit. But yeah, I thought I agree. He did seem like he was just too good to be true. And don't forget, guys, Dr. Arden is just supposed to be a guest into the asylum just to only evaluate Kit. And that's it. So all of a sudden, he's like everywhere in the asylum. He's there with exorcisms, but for a little while, he is kind of he's very dominant in like the second episode, and a little bit in the third, and then he goes away for like the Anne Frank one, and then he just comes back hardcore after they've kind of gotten through some of the lessons of the episodes, then moved into the meat of it. So
what is it? If they don't like him, the asylum staff doesn't like him. They don't want him there. So I mean,
yeah,
he was kind of being everywhere just to be spiteful, and then he turned into Bloody Face.
B. Devlin said, bitch, if I see Bloody Face, you can bet my ass is gone. Oh, my Lord.
I think the second chunk of the episodes, I'm just going to be like episode 6 to like, is it episode 8 where we find out he's Bloody Face? 7, 9?
That's a good question. I can tell you.
If anyone knows which episode it is, leave it in the comments.
Yeah,
because that's what I consider the second chunk.
Well, wait a minute. Unholy Night. That is the one where Lee is. That's Murderous Santa. Arden makes a shocking encounter in the death chute. Okay, so.
Naveen says it's episode 5.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Oh my gosh, so early.
Yes. Naveen, thank you so much.
Not that early.
I forgot they did it that early too. Like
I know,
said,
right? I was looking like towards episode like 8, 9.
Like I said, I sat down and watched them all at once, so at no point did it like cross my mind what episode I was on.
See, I had to like break mine in half, because I watched like 3 episodes a day, so that way I would like be able to actually watch it because I wanted to take some notes and make the poll questions and things like that. So
I'm watching.
I just wanted a good binge.
And American Horror Story, and my shows are getting crossed right now. I'm like thinking one thing happened in one show and it's not happening. I'm getting messed up.
absolutely.
I think the second chunk of episodes has one of the best episodes of American Horror Story in it, and that's Unholy Night. I feel like I've already said this, but I don't care. This is the only real Christmas episode we have of American Horror Story, and it is so good.
Yeah, it really was. I have to agree completely, and I think that's another magic to this season is the Christmas episode. Christmas is a beautiful time, a time of miracles and wonder and decorations. And no, that's not what you get in this episode, and that's what made it so great. What did you think about it, Tami?
Which episode? Unholy Night? I liked it. I thought that was a great episode.
Yeah.
Very sick and twisted with Lee and all that. So, yeah, I liked it. The ending episodes were more my favorite than the beginning episodes. Except for the possession, which should have been at the end with the other good one. But, yeah.
What, Maisie?
Didn't someone's ear get bitten off or something?
Oh, I think that did happen. Wait,
God's ear got bitten off. Yes.
Yeah.
People are talking about Shakath, which is one of my favorite characters in this season.
Oh, is that Scathach?
No, Frances Conroy, Lady of the Death.
Yeah, they spelled the same one. I think they spelled the. I'm not sure, but I know they're enunciated, I think, differently. But I don't know. But yeah, Frances Conroy's character, she was just so elegant and beautiful.
When her wings flew open.
Beautiful about that show. Sorry.
Angel of Death is.
What? I didn't say anything.
I thought Maisie was saying something. Oh, so anyway, I was saying that Frances Conroy is like, after the asylum itself is dark, dingy, nasty, the patients are kept the exact same way. But when Frances Conroy's character shows up, she is beautiful. So it's really nice to get that kind of a change in that season with Asylum.
Oh, absolutely. And listen, I'm aware Angel of Death is really inconsistent with the other seasons. But I'm okay with it because it seemed to fit the atmosphere of the season very well, and sort of like a contrast to what was going on. Because I felt like it was kind of cool because the asylum's color scheme was very white and gray, I guess, like even light gray. And I loved the Angel of Death because it was just black, and I thought that was really nice to see. Like the color contrast when people would die. That it'd be so beautiful and look so different because it wasn't really every time the Angel of Death was on screen, you knew what was going on without her having to be there because it was so different from the way everything else was shot and the way everything else looked in the season. I thought it was wonderful. And I really hope Angel of Death comes back eventually, even though we probably only have 2 seasons of the show left. Hopefully she comes back in one of them.
Maisie, what did you think about the middle episodes?
They are okay. So I like the middle episodes, but I feel like just the beginning and the end went faster than the middle. But they definitely kept you watching. They weren't you know how some middle episodes of a show are going to be slow, they're not going to have as much going on. But I feel like Asylum definitely held its own with their middle episodes. So I mean, I'm cool.
I think the most happened in the middle episodes.
Yeah, right? More of the revelations.
There's the bloody face reveal and everything.
I mean, of course, something more is gonna happen, like more towards the end, because that's when things start being like bam, bam, bam. But like, I feel like Asylum definitely progressed its story a lot more during the middle episodes than it did towards the beginning or the end.
Okay. It sort of seems like they kind of flip things up on its head, because all the stuff that would usually happen in the end of a story happens more towards the beginning of the season than the end, which I think is interesting, because you'd think they would hold out the bloody face, who is he, plotline longer, but they really like nipped it in the bud 5 episodes in. I think that's actually, honestly, I think that's more interesting than revealing him later, because although he was revealed early, they kept his presence, not just as Dr. Thredson, but specifically as Bloodyface, going throughout the season, and I thought that was really smart.
Well, to me, it makes sense that, writing-wise, that they would have announced that around episode 5, because so much happens after the story, such as Dr. Thredson tricks Lana into leaving the asylum with him. So he just basically took his own she's being kidnapped and she has no idea, she's walking along with him. And then it's so eerie that, the feelings that you get in your stomach when she's in his apartment and things just don't seem right at all. And then finally we find out that he's Dr. Thredson. And then, episodes go by and we see what he's done to her and how he's kept her and the torture that he's done to her. And then she's pregnant. And, there's just so much that happened after the story that I guess it definitely makes sense that they revealed it so early, because if they would have revealed it so late, you would have packed all that stuff into just a couple of episodes and that wouldn't have worked well.
Agreed. Also, another thing, the last episode of the middle, I'm glad we're separating this into separate sections, because I feel like it's easier to kind of talk about so people will understand what we're saying. Yeah. The 3 things I kind of remember specifically about the middle are the Christmas episode. Well, I guess 4 things. The Christmas episode, Lana's attempted abortion, which was another completely wonderful plot, because it's so out of nowhere, but also so jarring and scary, but also so nerve-wracking.
That's one of my favorite idea what's going on. It's one of my favorite plots just because that act was so an abomination in that time period. And I don't everything her being gay was a bad thing in that time period. And of course her trying to get into Bloodyface was a bad thing to society. Why would you want to look into that? And just and then her just trying to get an abortion just kind of just top tiers it. That girl's not obeying the rules. Go her.
And I think that's probably for the most part why people like Lana. But I feel like after we discuss the episodes individually, we should talk about some of the characters. But the other thing I remember very vividly from the middle chunk of the episodes is the name game.
Yeah. I was watching that last night and my husband goes in and goes, "What the?" Because he's never watched Asylum. So he was "What are you watching?" And all I could think of is Us. Every time I see that, that's what I think of is Us.
Aaron I was just saying, Aaron O in the comments makes a great comment when he says that I always imagine if Lady Gaga was in Asylum, it would have been so cool to see. So her video, Bad Romance, She was in a shower that, you know, is the one that like almost encases your body and sprays you. The exact same one is in Asylum. It's like episode 2, I think, where Grace and Lana are strapped into the baths. And Grace and Lana are talking about escaping, and they're talking through one of those kind of you know, showers. It's exactly like the one from Lady Gaga's video Bad Romance. So I just had to say that very quickly because Aaron brought that up as a good point, and I thought, oh my God, I was just crazy when I noticed that. So
it's so weird that you say that because I just watched the Bad Romance music video today.
did you?
Yes, I watched Bad Romance, Paparazzi, Just Dance, and Poker Face. It was great.
Uncovered the News had a great point too, that Arden cut off Shelley and Elsa's legs.
That what?
That Dr. Arden cut off Shelley's legs and Elsa's legs.
Why did I never think about that?
Oh, you know what? That is a really good point. Uncovered the News. That's a really great point to point out. You know, and I just remember especially seeing Shelley in that episode. So that's a really, yeah. What the hell is his fascination with that, guys?
Maybe he keeps them. Maybe he has a foot fetish.
That, yeah, that would be disgusting. That's one disgusting fetish.
Like a dead person foot fetish, like a necrophiliac, but like
also just the feet.
Foot fetish. Yeah, just dead feet.
So Evan Duffy asked,
what just happened?
Evan Duffy asks, could Dr. Arden be an alien because he conducts experiments on humans? But it could be crazy. I don't know. You know, Evan, that's a good question to ask. But the aliens do come in a later episode when Pepper is there. Or excuse me, even before that, when he takes the thing out of Kit. I almost said there for a moment. So yeah, when he takes that thing out, the aliens come after. So he gets it in his head that if Kit's life were to be in danger, that the aliens will come. And sure enough, yeah, they do. So I really do think he was just some sick son of a bitch. Sadly, that was a scientist. There's tons of them out there. And he just had a little too much power. So
I honestly thought he was the scariest character.
Literally, he was so creepy. It wasn't even that like what he did was scary. He was just so creepy that it terrified you to no end.
Yes.
I think that's the thing about it though. And like honestly, I'm more afraid of him because I feel like they made him so human, but in such like a terrible way. You're like, ugh. And it didn't help that he ended up being a Nazi.
I mean, to be honest, I believe he did have some sort of, a fetish, I guess. He must have, because, that was a really good point to bring out about that he did that. Ugh. And
I can't believe we never noticed.
One thing, before we go into the last poll questions, did Sister Jude actually hit that little girl on the bicycle, or was it just like the demon making her believe it? Oh, what the hell happened with that? What did you guys get from that?
Didn't she go see her family?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and they said she was alive?
She hit her, but Jude didn't kill her.
Yeah, she was still alive.
Okay, gotcha. So everything happened. She had been hit and Jude took off, but the little girl lived and made it through it.
Yep. And her parents were raising her, the little girl's baby, while she worked at the hospital during the day, because Jude came back to see her.
Okay.
To get closure.
Maybe it was just really late at night when I was watching it, but that section has always confused me. Like the pink cupcakes from fucking Freak Show. You know,
don't get me started.
And then this has confused me. Those are the only two things from American Horror Story that's ever confused the shit out of me. So
she went back
thank you
to,
guys
see her parents
for helping me.
To like get closure, to be like, hey, like sorry I hit your daughter. Like
yeah. Debbie, it's so great.
That was going to make sense.
Forward. Okay. And Lisa Lee, it's so great to have all of you guys in the comments.
It had been all those years, and she was just going to, like, mosey on up to her.
Sorry, I hit your daughter.
Yeah, like, You couldn't have told us this 30 years ago or whenever it happened. You know what I mean?
Like, doesn't she like mention it and they get angry or something? Maybe I'm just thinking that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't remember that part, and I was just watching so fast through that section because I was trying to get to the final episode. So I feel like an asshole because now you want to know, and we're supposed to
leave the answer in the comments below.
Yeah, guys, help us out with the answer. So, okay, let me go over the last of the poll questions. And guys, these are still up on my Twitter account. Okay. This question is, would you taste Dr. Arden's candy apple? 13.
I feel like he puts like laxatives in them.
Or like he puts some roofies. He puts roofies, obviously, in like the candy that coats the apple, you know. But 13% said I would have thrown it away. 14% said maybe. 25% said, oh, hells yes. And 48% won and said, load no.
That's what I voted.
All right. Next one is, would you take 40 lashes from Sister Jude and her cane to save your friend from the same fate? So remember, guys.
No.
No.
Sorry.
This one got an overwhelming answer. 13% said absolutely, meaning yes. 21.
You guys are great friends, but nope.
21% said nope. And 66% said depends on the friend.
That's the shady people. At least me and Casey were like,
hilarious.
nah, like we're not gonna do that because like why would I? Like,
but that's like if you would slap your friend for $1 million.
I'd slap any of my friends
They're
for $1
being
million.
shady because they're like, hey, if it's this friend, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. But if it's this friend, they're like, fuck no, they're being shady.
Yeah, Maisie's completely right. I used to have 3 friends, and now I have 4 friends, and I wouldn't take a slap for any of them.
Okay. This whole crowd of people knows my best friend Claudia because on Bird Toast we talk about her a lot. I would not take lashes from a cane for that bitch. I love her, but no.
Let her take her own damn lashes, right?
Whatever she did, she probably deserves it.
The next question is, did you trust Dr. Oliver Thredson in the first half of American Horror Story Asylum?
No.
2% said, I never noticed him. You guys say no?
I would never.
Oh, absolutely.
He's just like so like not even. It's not that he's creepy. He just like puts you off. Like,
I didn't think he was bloody face, but I knew he wasn't a good person. He
was definitely shady.
Like I was like, he up to something. I didn't see bloody face coming.
Well, 45% of the people agree with you guys. They say no, they did not trust him. And 53% said yes, they did. And let's see.
That's what good writing looks like.
Let's see. Did you trust Grace when you first met her in American Horror Story Asylum?
I just voted on that one. Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
I didn't trust anyone in the asylum besides Kit.
Yeah,
and
she's literally in the asylum. Like, she had to be at least a little bit crazy.
Yeah, no, I know, right?
Do you remember the first thing, like, one of the first things her and Kit talked about? It was, what are you in for? They say, I, like, cut up my family. And he's like, did you do it? And she's like, no. And I'm like, uh-huh.
That bitch definitely did it.
Yeah, I know she's
the way
crazy.
She says it. The way she says it is like, you're in here for something, and it's probably that.
My whole thing is he like has a kid with her. Like,
I know, right?
Like,
that crazy
God.
Bitch. Well, 23% said, I had no choice but to trust her. So this is like when Lana and Grace were talking about escaping. Yeah. That's kind of what I was afraid to. Did you trust her?
You wanted to trust her so much.
Well, 23% said I had no choice but to. 38% said absolutely not. And 39% won and said yes, that they trusted her.
Well, I mean,
And
I
then-
wanted to trust her so bad, but I knew better. I was like, that bitch is.
I think I
absolutely
did trust
insane.
her a little bit.
I believed in her. I was like, this bitch crazy, but she gonna get them out.
We
the
were all
asylum.
rooting for you.
And guys, last question. This one isn't a poll, so just think about it for a second and let me know in the comments, and you guys let me know. What motion picture would you show to the patients at Briarcliff?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Wow, I honestly never thought of that. That's fantastic. That's a good answer. Tami, Casey, do you think you guys know?
I think Wizard of Oz would be good because it kind of fit the time, and it's your favorite movie.
That's so weird that you said that because I was about to say Wizard of Oz because
So was
for
I.
a few reasons. One, Wizard of Oz is like my favorite movie. Two, well, yes, obviously because it's my favorite movie. But two, because I think it makes sense because it's bright and colorful, and they need that. Because all the movies they were showing there were like low-key terrifying.
BRT said he'd show up Die Hard, and the blubbering idiot said Willy Wonka.
The first Willy Wonka is so good.
It's so creepy.
It is.
That was a great answer.
Mary,
Aaron
what movie
O
would you
said
show?
Titanic because it's long and it would keep them entertained for hours.
Mary, what movie would you show?
I was gonna say Wizard of Oz, but or Rocky, but I don't want them to get a weird idea. So, or I would say The Exorcist, but
Ooh.
maybe that
Might be too close to home.
or like the Amityville Horror, because it's a movie that I would want to sit down and watch with them, you know. So it'd have to be something.
You want to watch a movie you want to watch, not that you think would be good for
Oh my
them.
god. To show not a weird like movie like Rocky, I would show like Grease or something, because like that's such a happy
All the
movie.
singing.
It's so happy. I feel like it would make anyone happy.
Could you imagine all the patients singing "Go Grease Lightning"?
Or like High School Musical, or like something like that, like Hairspray. Maybe not Hairspray.
Can someone
that
edit
movie's-
us? I'm sorry, maybe. Can someone edit us a clip of? I don't really want to, but where someone else edited us a clip of the patients at Briarcliff watching High School Musical, please and thank you.
High School. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That's what Maisie said.
Aaron O said the SpongeBob movie, the first one.
I would
The
go
first one's a
insane.
lot better. The first one's a lot better than the second one.
Fan Made in America said he would show, or she would show, Elsa's snuff films. Oh my God, that's devious. Lindsay McCarthy showed Children of the Damned.
The boy in the blue striped pajamas.
Oh, Maisie.
Let's see. Elementary School Dropout said the hit 2003 movie Holes, starring Shia LaBeouf.
I love that movie.
I'm fucking hit. That's so funny.
Uncover the News said Children of the Damned 2. Said Children of the Damned as well. The remake or the original? Oh wait, is there original?
Wait, go back. Mary, have you seen Holes?
No.
Oh my
It's
god.
so good. It's so
I've
good.
heard
Oh my
it.
god, I'd show Cheetah Girls. I would show Cheetah Girls, the one where they go to India. Oh my god.
Oh my
Coyote
god, that
Ugly.
was a good one.
Coyote Ugly is a great one
Oh
to
my god,
show
Coyote.
at Briarcliff.
Coyote Ugly is like one of my favorite movies.
I know. It's
one of Byron's too. He has a thing, my husband, where he watches musicals.
I love musicals. Or burlesque. Oh my god, we can show them.
Yes,
burlesque.
that one too, Maze. He watches them. He picks one, and then he has to watch all the rest of them in one night. And I'm sitting here going, "Oh my god!"
Guys, don't forget that if you are enjoying the stream, please don't forget to thumb it up. I would greatly enjoy it. And Uncover the New, no, Horror Knowledge said definitely show them B movie.
Yeah.
What about Shawshank Redemption? That would be good.
Oh my God, that would rock.
I would show a documentary on other asylums. Make them feel bad about
that would be good too.
That they're in
Can
that
we show
one.
them Lana Winter's asylum documentary from the future?
Yeah.
Evan Duffy said show them My Roanoke Nightmare. And
I thought about that, but that's a TV show.
Said The Ring. Show them The Ring.
That sounds unsafe.
Oh my God, Star Wars, Harry Potter,
Home Alone,
The Nightmare Before Christmas, any Tim Burton movie ever, The Corpse Bride, like.
Okay.
Maybe we should talk about like the finale.
Yeah, we're getting right there. I'm sorry. One said Gone with the Wind. One said Forrest Gump. One said Mean Girls 2. One said the Spice Girl movie. Oh my God, that's awesome. You guys are so awesome. I had to just give those a little shout out real quick. And before we do
Spice Girl movie
move on into the final of the review, I want to give a huge shout out to Alicia George, Kenny Joseph, Don Ford, Demi Farr, Debbie, Ebby but Bebby, Anthony White. Yes. Gary, BRT, Steve Barrett, R2, Stephanie Gutierrez, Yessie Kazar, Sharon Wybe, Madison Luke, and Tami, my sis, Sifford. All of them are wonderful patrons, and I always give my patron shout out. And guys, I've restructured my patron levels even to where you can get moderator status. So there's a link to my patron in the description. If you want to go check it out, you can rewards get you like copies of my novels, extra time to see my videos before they're put out, moderator status, even be my guest on my live streams. So
would you maybe even say Tami Sifford? Sorry, I had to do that.
So I had to give a huge shout out to my patrons. And of course, guys, don't forget on my Twitter, I'm going to be posting questions all this week about Kevin. So if you want to join the fun and answer the poll questions, go to my Twitter, and the questions, I'll be posting them there throughout the week. So
and follow me too, Casey_Soper 1. Thanks.
If you guys put your stuff in here. Tammy, Maisie, put them in.
No, but it was so weird.
He just
from the group followed me. Oh, I don't know what happened. It's so weird though.
He did it again.
Quit doing that. I don't know what's going on. One more time. It's so weird because this week, like 5 people from the group, like, followed me all at once.
Hey, follow me at Blue Maisie.
On everything.
I crowd surfed to the Phineas and Ferb theme song at Warped Tour. If that makes you want to follow me more, like.
Maisie,
is there a video
in the comments as well? Could you put what your username is as well?
I'm not on the thing, but if someone wants to comment it for me, very much.
What is it?
At Blue Maisie, literally.
Okay.
Cause I'm a Troy stan and like couldn't change it because like I am a Troy stan still.
Okay. So the end of Asylum. I really want to get this in here because we're supposed to have like 7 minutes left. And I'll feel bad if we don't finish.
It was so great. The ending of the season was just so fun. It was so great due to such a violent and dark season. The final episode was so light, and it really answered a lot of questions, told you where people were. And I mean, it was just really great.
I loved it where it was like, the final episode was so light, and literally the last shot of the whole thing is her shooting her son in the head.
Literally.
What?
What's my favorite part? Because mine is, of course, when she's getting in the cab with the tapes and the middle finger.
Oh, yeah.
Same. That's so good. What I said, though, Mary, was I love that you were just like, the last episode is so light, and literally the last shot of the last episode is her shooting her son in the head. But whatever. But also, guys, have you noticed that Ryan has repeatedly done the same thing every single season, besides 2 seasons? Coven and Freak Show are the only two seasons that break the mold. Murder House, Asylum, Hotel Roanoke, and Cult all have episodes that take place some bit later than the other ones and seem more like a tack-on ending. Like, think about it. Murder House has the new people arrive and they get them out of there, right? Asylum has Old Man of Winters. Coven has actually something to do with the season that's like completely tied into the plot. Freak Show is like finishing Dandy's murder spree, right? Hotels is completely random because it takes place a long time after episode 11, right? You know what I mean? That last episode was so weird. And then Roanoke was just like a clip show. And Cult, you know, take place later in Kaizen Gel and stuff. So like I don't know, I just noticed that it seems kind of weird to me that all the seasons usually end at the second to last episode, and the last episode's like where are they now?
I like that they do that though, because sometimes a lot of people are, you know, they spin off on their crazy theories about what could happen next, but Ryan actually shows us, and then we can spin off our crazy.
Well, like
theories.
Freak Show does it too, because they show where Bet and Di and Evan's character pregnant, and then I forget their names. I haven't watched Freak Show in so long. The lady with the 3 boobs has a family. Like, it's all down the road.
The lady with 3 boobs.
She's not wrong.
No, I know. I just like the way she described it. It was awesome.
Well, that's
how
like
it.
my most like vivid thing of that character, because it's in like the opening credits how she runs her hands across her 3 boobs, and I'm like that bitch got 3 boobs.
But yeah, the ending to the season, it was something beautiful out of something so dark and tragic of a season, like for the storyline and the characters, you know. So I thought it was.
And this season, for sure, had one of the greatest AHS moments, in my opinion, and that is when the Angel of Death comes to take Sister Jude.
Finally.
Because I think it's really crazy. Sorry if I get emotional. Because the whole that was a joke, sort of. Because the whole season we see her like struggling with her issues and her past issues, and what she kept calling her sin, and her every time she was this close to death being like, I'm not ready to go yet. And it was so heartbreaking but also touching to watch her finally accept her fate and be satisfied with the life she lived and let the angel take her. That honestly, it brought a tear to my eye. Because I just said why. Y'all heard me.
My actual favorite moment in the end of Asylum is when Evan returns to the aliens, because I'm like, what they gonna do with him?
The aliens? Yeah. Oh, okay. Are you ready to go there? I guess I am.
Cause what are they gonna do with Evan? He's old and gonna die. Are they gonna rejuvenate him?
Seriously, are they gonna make him reborn? What's up?
Yeah, I'm are they ever gonna go after his kids? Cause they're special alien kids. So what's up with that?
The only time, though, I've ever ugly cried during a finale of American Horror Story was season 2's finale and Hotel's finale. Those are the only finales I've ever ugly cried through.
Hotel
and I'm talking about
I bawled during Hotel's finale. I was oh my god.
Also
Hotel has my favorite episode ever.
Which one?
Casey knows.
Devil's Night.
Yep. My favorite AHS episode ever. Love it. They did so good. I can't wait till we can talk about it.
All right, guys. Well, that reminds me. Next week, we're going to be back here talking about Coven. And since these are kind of, we're starting to go past an hour. It doesn't seem like it's working. We're going to make it for just a little bit longer next time, okay? So we can kind of take a little bit more time. We won't feel so rushed in discussing the season, if that's cool with everybody. So don't forget, guys, to like the stream if you enjoyed it. We'll be back next Sunday to discuss Coven. Then we'll be back the next Sunday after that to discuss Freak Show. Then we'll take a little break for a week and then come back to discuss Hotel, Roanoke, and then Cult. And then we'll get ready for the finale or for the premiere of season 8. So we're all going to get through this time together. And as soon as we know it, season 8 is going to be right around the freaking corner. So thank you all so much for being here and for watching. Thank you so much to Tami, Casey, Maisie for being my guests and for being on the show. I just really appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having me.
Me too.
We'll be back next week, guys. Thank you all again so much for being here. And yeah, any final words or thoughts on Asylum that you guys wanted to say before we go?
Oliver Threadson is fine as all hell.
Oh, I know, right?
One, the aliens are still out of nowhere and they need to fix it. Two, but they're interesting at least. Two, I really like Asylum now. I used to not like it, but here we are. It was very good. Y'all should watch it if you haven't. Sorry for spoiling it, but I actually don't care because it's really old. And then I think basically just that it's a solid season.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm very pleased with it.
Tami, any thoughts from you?
No.
Did you like it?
Did I like it? Not as much as I did before.
Oh man.
Yeah. I still think Hotel and Coven are my favorites.
Okay.
Mary, did you like it?
Hey, Cole Contour, it's great to have you. Evan, it's great to have you too. Thank you so much for your sweet comments. Guys, thank you again so much for being here. We'll be back next Sunday, a little longer, better for you guys. And thank you again to everybody who's here watching. So, bye guys, we will see you next week.
Bye guys, thanks.